Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Always Almost There, Day After Show Live. We're here for the final one of Fall Tour. Hard to believe that we've made it through this whole tour already. But we're here. It's Sunday, October 8th. My dad and I are in Steamboat Springs, Colorado, coming to you live just near the Old Town Pub, which is a significant landmark for Goose fans. But we're going to talk about last night's show in Fort Collins. How are you doing, Dad?
I'm doing great, Ryan. Long time no see.
Yeah. I'm excited to have you back on the pod today. Been a little while, but it's going to be fun to chat about last night's show.
Excellent. Excited to be here.
Awesome. Well, we can kind of both talk about our pre-show vibes here because, again, we were together. But getting to this venue last night, it was really cool. Just a big lawn at CSU. Which was pretty cool, to see a show at after Red Rocks. Very, very different vibe, super relaxed. I will say there weren't a ton of students. I think that, based on Peter's poll later in the show, I feel like a lot of people were cheering just because they wanted to cheer. It really felt like there were a lot of people who had either been at Red Rocks or were big Goose fans before. But what did you think about, the vibe pre-show?
Well, pre-show was really cool. It was a gorgeous day. The sun was shining. The sky was blue. It was easy to get in. And Lisa, your mom, did a wonderful job getting us a spot at the right in front of Loomis at the soundboard. Always our go-to spot in an open field like that. It was really cool. And one of the things about this weekend was that I just loved, and it was the same thing yesterday, is just the community is so incredible. So, pre-show, being able to see people who I'd seen all weekend, some of our friends from Toronto who we hadn't seen all weekend, being able to give them a hug. One of the best things about seeing this band beyond the music is just the people. And so it was really good energy.
Absolutely. 100% agree. And then the lights came down and the show began, and, the energy was there immediately. First three songs of the set, I feel like, kind of that like festival vibe, maybe a new audience, Animal, Rockdale, Silver Rising, solid, song choice, solid playing, nothing crazy. But lots of fun. How were you feeling about the first three here?
I was feeling great. You know what? All three of them, listen, Animal, special place in my heart. I love that song. Love dancing to it. Rockdale, same thing. Just love singing it with you more than anything. And Silver Rising, they're incredible tunes. And I agree with you. Nothing out of the ordinary, but just wonderful start. And of course, kicking myself that I didn't pick Rockdale or Silver Rising.
I should pick Rockdale. In hindsight, that and Animal were both pretty obvious choices for last night. But yeah, it was interesting. During Silver Rising, we started to hear this crackling coming from the stage. There was, I don't know if it was a loose cable. It seemed to be like a problem with Rick's vocal mic, but they were working on it kind of throughout Rockdale. And then when Wisteria started, which, first of all, really cool, really cool mid-first set pick right here. We've seen a lot of second set Wisterias this year. This is only the second first set Wisteria of this year. So really interesting to look at that statistic. But they sang the first verse, the vocal mic was still going, and so they kind of were just like, fuck it, we're just gonna jam from here. They didn't do the chorus, they didn't do the next verse, whatever. They just went for it. So the song itself is probably only a minute long, if that. And then they just, it's a 19-minute Wisteria, so that's equivalent to really like a 25-minute Wisteria, if they had played the whole song. But this was a really cool jam, making the best of the tech issues. Started off with a great Type 1 peak, with Peter on guitars. He also went backstage to, figure out, I think kind of check on the status of what was going on. But, then he came back out, hit the vintage vibe. They got into this really nice major key space, little Magic School Bus tease, which I always love to hear. And then, nice klezmer infused jam from there. I said in my review that I just posted recently, these aren't jam themes that we haven't heard before. They're not really breaking new ground, but it's just really great music and really enjoyable jamming here. What did you think of the Wisteria?
I have to tell you, your mom leaned over to me in the middle of it. It's like they could go the whole night with this, right? And it was, I loved it. I loved it because of it was so smart of them to just, okay, let's just leave the vocals and let's just focus on playing. And then they played for another 18 minutes, and it was groovy at times. It felt great. And so, it's one of those, when life serves you lemons, you make lemonade. They totally did that, and it was great. And I have to tell you, being at the soundboard, I kept turning around to check out Loomis as he was, dealing with it from his vantage point, and cool as a cucumber, and obviously not cool as a cucumber on the inside, trying to figure it out. But picking up the mic, communicating with those on stage, and I didn't feel like there was any panic and anything taken away from that. And really a shout out to Getty as well. He was killing it on the lights in that, and it was a really different light experience being back in a full stage field experience as opposed to Red Rocks, which was super cool, and how he was using the rocks as a backdrop to be able to, as his tapestry. But the lighting last night I thought was outstanding.
Yeah, agreed. It was, really, really interesting, being on a flat ground instead of on steps above. And so you got a different vantage point, which was excellent. Yeah, he crushed it. And then the set closes with Electric Avenue, crowd pleaser, more of that, familiar songs for people who might not be familiar with the band. People were digging it, of course. And, solid way to close the set. They did cut Turn Clouds, Seekers, and Madhavan from this first set. It was around 65 minutes, a little on the shorter side. I think, they really wanted to get the tech issues sorted. And, they came back with an amazing second set. But yeah, it was a really solid first set. And I think, I'm okay with losing Turn Clouds and Seekers, but I'm a little bit bummed we didn't get that Madhavan last night.
That's the second time over the weekend that it was on the list and not played, right? So agree. But great first set, great energy, a lot of fun.
Yes, agree. Set break was pretty quick. They were looking at the clock. They gave themselves ample time, for the second set. They went on an hour and 40 minutes before curfew. So thank you, Goose, for giving us, a big second set. I was a little bit worried earlier curfew, and, based on how the first set went, I was a little bit nervous, how the time management would go, but they killed it there, which was awesome. And they came back out, first two songs of the set, Fish in the Sea and Tumble, more really solid playing. Fish in the Sea is an amazing cover. Again, for people who may not be familiar with the band, it's a great song, to get you into it. It's like, wow, this rocks. And Tumble, again, great song. This jam was, 13-minute Tumble. We've been seeing this tour where they're just sticking type one, really explosive, great peaks. But nothing out of the ordinary. But again, that's not necessarily a bad thing. What do you think of Fish and Tumble here?
No, I agree with you, Ryan. Nothing more to add to it. Just I love when they go dark and they go off and do things that isn't type one, but I also love type one. So I was really enjoying this.
Yeah, it was amazing. And then so I was thinking there, like, okay, we're probably going to get some solid jamming in the set. Maybe in Arcadia, the Empress is coming, nothing crazy. And then they go into this Redbird, and, jam of the night, in my opinion. They finish the type one segment and just dive directly into this amazing minor key groove, Trevor bass all over it. Just mind blowing, not quite on the evil level of the Everything Must Go from Friday night, but this was just awesome. We got that extended jamming, that I think we were looking for in the show, in the Wisteria and the Redbird. And it was amazing. And then for it to go into Moby after, you were next to me when that happened. I obviously, so exciting. Shout out to good friend of the pod, Captain Incredible, who around 2 minutes into the Redbird jam, was like, this would be really cool if they went into Moby after. And then they did. Which was awesome. So shout out to Jeff. Great call. What did you think of the Redbird?
So the Redbird, I said it to you as we were listening to it this morning. I found the Redbird proper with the vocals and everything else. There was almost a lightness and a tenderness to it that was, it was super great in that realm. And then I agree with you on the jam and Trevor's bass. We're sitting in a field, and I was feeling the bass.
Yeah.
He was up in the mix last night and really dropped some bombs, and it was incredible that way. And Moby, for you, it's always super exciting seeing you react to that. I love that.
Thank you. Yeah. Quick turnaround for Moby after a 55 show gap, coming back in Montana a couple of weeks ago, and then just 12 shows later, popping up again. Hopefully this means it's going to be coming back into more regular rotation, because 55 shows is way too long to go without playing Moby. It's kind of the best song. So I had also said earlier in the show with the tech issues, I was like, oh, like maybe they'll do some TED tapes or bigger jams if the vocals keep having issues. Like maybe we'll get a Moby tonight. They did. There was also, it could have been a nod to, there was like a Moby building at CSU that was near where they were playing last night. So it could have been a little bit of a nod to that as well. But it was just amazing. So Moby. And then the set closes with Slow, Ready, and Empress. Team Slow, really happy to get this after the show on Thursday. Had some light teasing from Haps about like, oh, I'm going to go to the bathroom now. After, I did that on Thursday. But Slow, Ready was great. Always Peter dancing is always such a pleasure to watch during this song, just having the best time. And then Empress, we've talked a lot this tour on the pod about their banter this tour, and it's been so good. And they did it again last night before the chorus of Empress, before the clapping. Jeff said, "Hi, Mom." Trevor even chimed in a little bit. Dr. Weeks, DDS, joining in on the fun. But it was, it was a fun Empress. A little bit of a halftime breakdown earlier in the jam, but otherwise, nothing crazy. Solid 13, 14-minute version to close out the set. But what did you think of Slow, Ready, and Empress?
Well, everyone talks. You're either on Team So or Team Slow. And what did I say as we were walking out? I'm on Team Ready. I like them both a lot. So
you got to pick one.
I'm not picking one. I'm picking them both. And I loved it. It was amazing last night. So I think the difference between the two, it was really cool to see them both over the weekend. And so being able to experience both, and I love them both. And Empress, I think Empress is my new, This Old Sea is my favorite Goose tune, and Empress is my favorite one to see. It always, it's consistently fun, and, everybody's singing and really into it. It always gets the crowd going, and I just love that. Love it. So
yeah.
It was amazing.
It was
and
awesome.
I agree with you. With the banter last night, it just, maybe because it was the last show of the tour, the guys seemed looser and just having a lot of fun up on stage and touring with the crowd, and so it was good fun, and the dance moves were
it was
awesome.
great. Yeah, leading the crowd, and Peter doing this as everyone was ready. And yeah, it was awesome. Yeah, as you mentioned, they felt loose. It was, we're over the hump. We've played Red Rocks. We did our 2 big shows there. And tonight, last night was just like a bonus, basically. It was like, we're going to go, we're going to have a great time. Yes. Thank you, Matthew, for shouting out DGT Tacos, or DG Tacos, DGT, the taco place in Fort Collins where Rick worked when he lived out there just before forming Goose. Allegedly, that's where they came up with the name Goose at this taco place. So, shout out to DGT. This was cool. And then, we get the very, very expected Arcadia encore. It was so good. Jeff was having the best time during this, standing up, dancing, which was really, really funny. We had we had some good Jeff moments last night. He hit the gong with the tambourine a few times. I'm now the proud owner of some broken tambourine chimes. But yeah, it was just great to see them having so much fun. The last song of the tour, you could tell they were like, it's the home stretch. We get a few weeks off now, except for Jeff. But it was great to see.
Yeah, totally agree. So so awesome. And, you know, all five of them were, I felt it locked in last night, and it was really great. Loved everything about it. Nothing else to add on the Arcadia. Shout out, I'd say, to our crew in front of the soundstage, and especially to Haps and Haps Jr. You
Yeah.
know, Haps Jr. was singing and dancing the whole night, and it was so much fun to groove a show with him. So shout out to Bryce.
Yeah, absolutely raged last night. It was awesome. And, Danny was with us last night
Yep.
as well, which was great. We had an awesome crew. Megan as well was there here and there. Captain Incredible and his lovely wife. It was just an amazing way to wrap up the weekend. People who came up to Fort Collins. It was a little bit lower key than Red Rocks, of course. I think we were all a little bit tired, but we found the energy to rage it last night, which was awesome. And it's hard to believe that this tour is over. It's been a long tour, 3.5 weeks or so. So shout out to Goose and the whole crew, of course. Peter said that a couple times over the last couple of shows, but shout out to all of them for really crushing it over the last few weeks. This has been an awesome tour. It's been a lot of fun, podcasting, and thank you everybody. All of our guests who have been here throughout the tour. Everybody who's tuned in live, or whether you're listening to this on October 8th or a year from now, thank you everybody. It's such a blast being able to do this and talk about our favorite band. And I know the other four guys who sadly couldn't make it today echo my sentiment there. So yeah, it's been amazing. We all get a few weeks off, except for Jeff, who's starting Dwayne Betts tour tonight in Jackson, Mississippi. So if you are seeing Dwayne Betts in between now and his New York date, which is in 2.5 weeks or so, Jeff will be playing drums, and everyone should go check out Dwayne Betts' tour dates to go see Jeff play drums with his brother on bass as well. So that'll be fun for him, and then it's almost time for Europe, which is going to be amazing. I can't wait to get over there, see them in some small venues. Stay tuned to the pod socials throughout the next few weeks as we kind of figure out what our recap plan for Europe is going to be. And of course, there will be a massive tour recap episode coming your way before the end of the month, which is going to be a lot of fun to record. It's going to be really long, I think, based on our previous track record and the number of shows that we have to cover. But thank you so much, Dad, for being on today. It's, I love podcasting with you. It's fun.
Me too.
Yeah. Well, thank you for being here. And everybody, enjoy the rest of your weekend. Obviously, share with us your favorite moments of the tour on socials at AAT Goose Pod. Follow us. Let us know what you're listening to. We'll be sharing updated jam playlists as well. A lot going on still in this tour break. But we will see you all very, very soon. Thank you for tuning in once again. We love you all. Have a fantastic rest of your weekend. We'll see you.